Hey everyone, it's day 121 of Walk with Winston, and I hope that you're having a great day. Well, we've had a change of temperature here in Tampa, and it's a little more chilly today than it was yesterday. But it is another day, another beginning, and a change in temperature, a change in season really reminds me that not only can nature change, but we can change. And so yesterday I shared how, by the second week of February, over 80% of people have already given up on their resolutions. And I feel like that's a real shame in terms of how much we dream and aspire and think about getting better, progressing in our life, how we can be better in our life, better in our careers, better in our relationships. And just because we don't see progress immediately, we give up and we lose hope. What reminds me, when we do that, we end up sitting like here on this bench at the park. We sit down and take ourselves out of the game, and we only just then become a spectator. And I believe life is too precious. Life is too we have such an impact that we can make in other people's lives that to just sit on the sidelines, sit here on the bench, and just sit on the sidelines, we miss out on so much of what life could bring us. It bring us more peace, more satisfaction. We help more people. And so my encouragement for all of us today is, perhaps we feel a little defeated. Perhaps we are just sitting on the sideline waiting for somebody to tap us on the shoulder and say, get into the game. Well, consider this your tap on the shoulder. I want you to get back into the game and to dust off that resolution if you already put it aside. I feel to the deep depths of my soul that the main reason that people give up on their resolutions so quickly is because they've set something that is going to require massive amounts of willpower, or they've set goals that are way too complex, or that they've set too many goals. If one of those three things are why you are struggling with your resolutions, my encouragement to all of us today is to simplify, to pick one small step that we can take, one small action that we can do, and it doesn't have to be monumental. But what's really interesting about these kind of small baby steps is they have this compounding effect. And over time, we start to see results that we could have never imagined. I think about my own life and some of the little things that I started doing, little habits that I picked up, and over time it's made a real difference. So let's just flash back about 5 or 6 years ago. I was going through a really tough struggle in my home life, in my career. I just was floundering in so many ways in my life. Massive amounts of debt, unhappy relationships, grinding at work, really not being the leader that I know I was called to be. And I started adopting one small practice, and that, actually two small practices. One led to the other. The first one was that I started a daily Bible reading app. And what it did was it got my mind off of my troubles and started getting me to think about a much bigger and eternal view of my life. But then the second thing I started doing was I started doing some journaling. And in doing that journaling, what was really interesting to me at that point was that I started recalling dreams. And I had this is really self-disclosing. I had a series of, and this was when the business I was running was really challenging, and like I said, I had this massive debt and unhappy relationships. So there was a lot of turmoil, I felt like, in my life. And I kept having this recurring dream of being in an airplane and the airplane would crash. Multiple different ways that the airplane crashed. One time it came down our little rural road and the wings were torn off. We were trying to land on this one-lane road, a big jet. Another case, kind of plummeted to the ground. But what was interesting about each one of those dreams was that all of us in the plane were completely unharmed. It was a traumatic and scary situation, but in every case, we were without a scratch, without any harm at all. And as I started journaling that, it gave me such reassurance that everything was going to be okay. No matter what I was facing, all this opposition I felt like I was facing, that everything was going to be okay. Well, those two actions, first the daily Bible reading and then eventually journaling, led me to uncover and unlock the answers that I was really seeking at that time, which was everything's going to be fine. And it has turned out to be that way. So sometimes we don't know what the steps we're taking today and what they're going to do to change our life. But I believe in one thing for sure: sitting on the bench doesn't get us anywhere. We have to get into motion. We have to start taking small positive steps. So if that's starting your new business, or if that is getting serious about your health journey, we have to be in motion, and that is the only thing that's going to take us to the destiny of our dreams. So what I know about the people who watch these videos and who are in our 100-day group is that you are people who are determined. You're a person who's determined, and you're committed to growing. So let's simplify those resolutions. Let's simplify our goals and take one daily small action today that can lead to the dream of our life. With that, you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you again really soon.